Hi guys, welcome back to Clement Road. In this video I'm going to be starting some of the hillside scenery. Just going to start with making some trees. As you can probably see, it's had quite a big change to the layout. I've got two of the back scenes up and installed. Got the rest of them up there. I've built lighting gantry. So hope you enjoy the video. I'll get started. Okay, so I've just been to the model shop and I've made a few purchases. So one of the first one is I got this static grass from Pico. It's a 6mm wild meadow. I'm sort of going to go for like a late summer look for all the scenery and stuff. And I've also bought a realistic tree kit from Woodland Scenics. So that's what I'm going to be making today. Another thing I have queried about and thought about it, I just thought you could let me know on what I should do. I'm going to use these platform edges regardless for the station. I was thinking about using these as a sort of like a 2-foot retaining wall going along the side for the hillside. But if I don't decide to use them, or I think they might look a bit silly, I can still use them as a platform, so I'm at no loss. I've got some raw umber, Woodland Scenics paint. Just going to use that as the base for the hillside, because I'm going to be making out of newspaper and plaster cloth. Another thing you might need for making this realistic tree kit is this hobby tack adhesive made by Woodland Scenics. The guy in the model shop showed me, and it is extremely strong, quite tacky. Wouldn't want to get it on your fingers. Okay, so what you get in this kit is basically your clump foliage that you stick to the tree armatures. You get your tree armatures themselves, so you bend these into whatever shape you like. They also come with bases for those who don't want to be drilling holes in their baseboard. However, because I'm going to have a plaster cloth hillside, I just need to drill a small hole and put it with some PVA glue. You also have some super realistic tree clumps, sort of like small trees you can put on the embankment and whatnot. I'm looking forward to putting these on the layout because they do look fantastic. Okay, so what you're gonna want to start off doing is releasing the trees from the sprue for the base, which I won't be using. So I'm just going to use some pliers. Next thing you want to do is to start to bend the armatures into the desired shape. So I want to be doing things like that. They're sort of like a plastic coated wire that they've used. So this is pretty much how I'm going to be doing it for all of these armatures. So stay tuned. Okay, so all of the tree armatures are done. Happy with the shape of them. Next thing I'm going to do, just to take the plasticky shiny stuff off, is I'm actually going to paint them with some Tamiya paint. This one is just called Brown XF72. I'm just going to put these on with a paintbrush. Getting the airbrush out is a lot of trouble. Okay, so now I've just finished painting all the trees. It has dulled them down a little bit. You might notice I didn't quite go thorough um, with them. I did that simply because if you look, you might be able to see varied colour tones and whatnot on the trunk. So I just think it looks a little bit better than just it all being too uniform. Okay, so the next step, once these have dried, is to apply this hobby tack onto the end of the armatures to stick your foliage on. Now, this stuff apparently you're meant to apply it and leave it for 30 minutes at least for it to tack up, so you can just roll the armature in the foliage you've got over there so it sticks well. Okay, so for the clump foliage you're supplied with, it comes in a vacuum sealed bag like this, and it's all quite clumped together. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to gently break some of this up, so it's not as clumpy. I mean, you see there, a clump like that's not going to look very good on a tree, quite frankly. So just break it up a little bit, tease it apart, stuff like that. Okay, so your next step is to take your hobby tack adhesive made by Woodland Scenics and open it up. Now it comes with a brush supplied. This one has been sat for quite a while, so it needs a bit of a stir. Okay, so we'll start off with the one of the bigger trees. So all I'm going to do is just apply the tack glue where I'd like foliage. So all at the end of the tree armatures, where you think it would be. Just try not to get any on the trunk or any of the actual branches themselves, just on the ends, just where you'd see leaves on a tree basically. Remember, with this a little goes a long way as well, because it is very, very sticky, and it's not cheap either. Okay, so that's the first one done. Basically, you just want to wait till this goes clear, but it will still remain it will still retain its tackiness. Okay, so I've applied all of the tack adhesive to all of my armatures. I've just got to wait for them to start to tack up, so I'll be back with you in 20 minutes. Okay, so 20 minutes later, the glue has started to tack up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll one of the tree armatures in this glue. So hopefully, if I can get this all sorted. So you're going to take your tree armature and just dip it in your foliage. You should start getting something looking like that. I will definitely be tidying this up because it's a bit of a mess at the moment. I'll get back to you once I've done that. Okay, so 20 minutes later, the glue has started to tack up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll one of the tree armatures in this glue. So hopefully, if I can get this all sorted. So you're going to take your tree armature and just dip it in your foliage. You should start getting something looking like that. I will definitely be tidying this up because it's a bit of a mess at the moment. But I'll get back to you once I've done that. Okay, so I managed to achieve something like this. I basically took to a pair of tweezers and just painstakingly sticking each individual clump on. It's probably one of the easier ways to do it rather than rolling it around in the foliage. So that's the first one, just another 5 more to do. I'll get back to you once I've done that. Okay, so that's the trees mostly complete. I might do something about this colour green now, just to tone it down ever so slightly. It definitely got easier towards the end. I don't think I left the glue to tack up quite long enough. It says half an hour, but that's probably at room temperature. And up in my loft, the way it is uninsulated, it's probably a little bit colder. But other than that, I am pretty happy how these trees came out. I will definitely be getting some more. I had some of this laying around from my previous layouts and stuff, and it is definitely more of a late summery sort of colour rather than what came in the kit, which was much more of a richer green. I did one tree using this stuff. I'd like to save that really for bushes and stuff, as it does look fantastic. If I can just grab it, as it is. Yeah, so this is the one made with the almost like bushy foliage. This is probably one of my favourite ones because the detail on it is actually quite good. So that's about it for the trees. So I've got a couple things on order on their way. I have a Pico tunnel mouth come in. I also have 2 or 3 wheels line side kits, so the cable trunking. This is what I was on about the retaining wall made out of the Pico platforms. I was thinking about painting it like a rusted steel colour, or maybe painting it concrete, like a weathered concrete effect. If you have any ideas of what I could do with this, just leave them down in the comments. I'm always open to ideas. But yeah, that's probably good. I might end up continuing it along because I'm probably gonna have like a motorway bridge going across there. But yeah, the way of ending it, I'd probably use just these platform edging ramps, as you would. I mean, they all just clip together. It's fairly easy. Just show you. Yeah, they just push together with these pins. and they're quite flexible. So really, the sky's the limit with what you could do with this stuff, really. So if you've got any ideas, just let me know in the comments. So if you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make these realistic trees, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe. The next video will probably be me painting the back scenes and hopefully starting the hillside once the tunnel arrives. Thank you, bye bye.